on DC News Now. A warm start to the week. Temperatures could reach in the 60s. Meteorologist Scott Sumner is tracking the forecast. Cleanup is underway as crews work to remove parts of the plane involved in the deadly crash on the Potomac. Plus, facing your fears to fly, we're looking at managing your concerns.
We put tariffs on. They owe us a lot of money, and I'm sure they're going to pay.
Also, a trade war brewing over President Trump's tariffs. We break down the latest from the Hill and the direct impact to your wallet. Also, check out some of the family fun in Frederick at a spectacular lights display.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Meteorologist Scott Sumner joined us now with the latest check on the forecast. And Scott, first of all, happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you, Mark, and to everybody out there on this Monday. It's going to be a mild Monday for the most part across the area. We'll start off the week mild, but we will cool us down towards the middle and tail end of the week. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of it all with the 7-day forecast. But first, I want to start off with what's happening currently. We're sitting at 44 degrees under overcast skies. This 44 is a lot warmer already than yesterday's highs in some places across the region. We will have those clouds around, but we may have some breaks in the cloud coverage every now and again. I think we'll have a lot more sunshine going into your Tuesday as opposed to what we have at the moment. But these are what the temperatures are looking to do over the next 12 hours. We'll see a bit of a climb here in the district up to the lower 60s across the area around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we'll start to see a little bit of a tail off here once we get down towards that 11 o'clock hour. And having said that, though, I mean, midnight, if a midnight temperatures of 51 degrees, that's a lot better than what we have been seeing. So we wait for our next weather maker to arrive. It's going to come in the form of a cold front, a fairly dry cold front at that, as we get in towards Tuesday. The front is back off to the west across Illinois and heading in towards the Indiana area. We'll wait for that to move through tomorrow, but in the meantime, enjoy a little bit of a warm-up here as your hour-by-hour forecast shows here. Temperatures, like I said, climbing up into the lower 60s with a little bit of sunshine every now and again. We'll sprinkle that in, I think, the later the afternoon gets into effect. And then the weather headlines here, like I said, a dry day today and sunny and breezy as we get in towards Tuesday.
All right, Scott, thank you. It's been 5 days since an American Airlines plane and a U.S. Army helicopter collided in midair near Reagan National Airport. All 67 people are dead, and crews have been working to recover the remains of the victims. And happening today, they'll begin removing the wreckage from the Potomac River. And our Randy Bass is at the airport with more.
Yes, Mark, those crews here are actively removing parts of that regional jet out of the Potomac River here today. We have seen crews starting to move large pieces of that plane from the water here. Going to zoom you in just to give you a close-up look at what we're seeing right now. They are expecting to recover more remains, more bodies as this recovery effort continues. We have seen them start to put up tents and tarps. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said over the weekend the central priority here is the dignified recovery of missing flight passengers and personnel. Bear with us as we make some camera adjustments here, going to bring you in extra close just to give you a really great look at what we're seeing here happening on the ground right now. Officials said yesterday as salvage crews surveyed the site and got ready for aircraft removal today, 11 additional sets of remains were found to bring that total up to 55. We have been in touch with local operations here about any press conferences or official updates today. They tell us that remains TBD at this hour. They had a briefing yesterday. The NTSB last briefed the media, though, on Saturday. No word yet on any press conferences from them today either. We do know at this point, though, those black boxes, the data and voice recorders from the aircraft that were recovered at the end of last week, what's on there could paint a clearer picture of the moments leading up to that mid-air collision. Those recovery efforts are actively underway right now. Be sure to stay with DC News Now as we continue to track breaking developments here on the ground at Reagan National Airport. I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Randy. As we continue to absorb the sense of loss from last week's midair collision, it can likely trigger a range of emotions, including a fear of flying. Our Chris Flanagan spoke with the chair of psychiatry at MedStar Washington Hospital Center on how to manage that fear. Their conversation is what's going around.
Richie, as a psychiatrist, what would you tell somebody who does have a fear of flying and maybe is really apprehensive right now about getting back on an airplane?
Well, they maybe shouldn't get back on an airplane right now unless they absolutely have to. If they have to, there's a number of strategies. If you have a psychiatrist, psychologist, physician, you can talk to them about techniques to reduce anxiety, deep breathing, breathing through the nose, possibly taking some kind of medication. But again, talking is what's really important before doing so. And I think it's not just going to be passengers that are going to be apprehensive. It's going to be flight crew, pilots, and others. So maybe we all take a deep breath together.
Dr. Ritchie, how do all of us moms and dads and caregivers talk about this crash with our kids? It's a lot. It's pretty heavy for them to absorb.
It is heavy for kids to absorb or for parents. Again, talking about it, anticipating grief and loss, maybe difficulty sleeping, maybe some nightmares. One thing that parents should do is limit exposure so that they're not watching it over and over social media. We learned that again from 9/11, that it was bad for people to watch the planes crashing into the Twin Towers too many times. Set up times to do things other than watch. Set up time with your family. Go outside, take a walk. These are very mundane things, but the more we can do to acknowledge that the tragedy has happened, but say, let's normalize life and let's get through it together, that will help.
Dr. Ritchie, we really appreciate you taking some time. Really just, a tough topic, but we appreciate your expertise and insight. Thank you very much.
Happy to do it, and good luck.
Our thanks to Chris and to Dr. Ritchie. Well, in Prince George's County, 2 people are dead after a house in Oxon Hill. A fire crew, it happened last night at Galloway Drive and Helmet Drive. Fire crews found a man and a woman inside the house. They both were pronounced dead at the scene. They say that 2 adults were able to escape the home. Another deadly fire happened in Fort Washington last week.
Tough week for this whole region, and firefighters go and they show up every day and they do their job. We're proud of their efforts, and they did a phenomenal job here, but unfortunately we had the loss of 2 residents, which is just tragic.
The fire is still under investigation. Also in Prince George's County, police are investigating a deadly shooting in District Heights. It happened last night on Silver Hill Road. Police say they found a man with gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. As salvage operations continue, D.C. Fire and EMS saying that thank you to the captains and crews of 2 cruise boats in D.C. for supporting their teams during recovery efforts. The 2 boats, National Elite and Inner Harbor Spirit, have served as command posts and rest areas for first responders through the emergency response. The IRS asking for patience as tax season gets underway. It's already received millions of tax returns since January 27th. Well, according to the IRS, most refunds will be processed within 21 days. However, paper returns could take up to 4 weeks. If you'd like to track the status of your refund, the IRS recommends the IRS To Go app.
Met with people who have had to make very difficult decisions about rationing their medications, filling their prescriptions, or paying their rent or their electricity bills that month. And that is not a decision that any Virginian should have to make.
It's just not going to have an effect. It's, as I've heard recently, it's like rearranging the chairs on the Titanic.
Well, Virginia's House of Delegates is passing a bill that would help lower prices for prescription drugs, and several drug manufacturers and most House Republicans are not on board. The bill would create a prescription drug affordability board, giving them the power to cap the price of certain drugs if they think that companies are charging too much. Delegate Carrie Delaney says that it would bring down the cost for Virginians, but some Republicans disagree. Following President Trump's 10% tariffs against China, retaliatory tariffs are expected from the global superpower. China said this action violates the World Trade Organization rules, and they will be enacting necessary countermeasures. Coming up, on Washington correspondent will break down Mexico and Canada's response to the tariffs against them. Many federal workers are considering taking buyouts from the government. They're being offered what is being called a deferred resignation, which they have until Thursday to accept. With that deal, they would theoretically be paid until the end of September. The leader of the Federal Workers Union saying that this offer is really an intimidation tactic.
Want to intimidate workers and then get them to accept a bad deal. That's why we're telling federal workers, don't even think about it. They are going to demand that federal employees be loyal and trustworthy. And if not, that they will be targeted for, be penalized up to removal.
Several positions are excluded from this offer, including military members, ICE agents, and postal workers. Well, Cap star Alex Ovechkin is getting closer to breaking the NHL's all-time goals record. In Saturday night's game against Winnipeg, Ovi got the game-tying goal, sending it to overtime. Unfortunately, the Caps ended up losing in overtime 5-4. But Ovi is now just 18 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. They'll have a chance to get a bit closer in tomorrow night's game against the defending champs, the Florida Panthers. The puck drops at 7 p.m.